And it's time for fun. Do you think we're going to find it? Think we're going to find? We arrived at night, there's not a ray of sun. Do you think that they will mind it? Think that they will mind it? A surly giant with a hefty mace, such a fear-inducing sight. He says it's much too late to visit now, so we must wait overnight. Land on a cloud. Land on a cloud. Pizarro seems convinced that we are here to pay respect. Still we'll have hard work to do, we've not won them over yet. A charm offensive we will launch to get our hands on the Countess's conch. The adventure continues.
So, Cressaro, the Castellane of Lynn Armel, has woken you up after your long night's sleep. Just a reminder that this was after you'd travelled for some time, some significant time. Some of you were at risk of exhaustion, but this long rest has essentially put you back to all normal, and you're back on a regular sleeping pattern. Cressaro stands on the cloud to the side of the airship. You're all, I assume, awake at this point.
Yep.
What do you wish to do before you leave the ship? Anything you wish to do? You're just climbing down? Anything you want to say amongst yourselves? Buff yourself? Anything like that?
Are we sure that our ship is going to be safe? I suppose that they've given us no reason to think we can't trust them. They've been reasonably hospitable, and they've actually been quite fair and pleasant so far, haven't they?
So when you say safe, are you saying that they're not going to destroy it or anything like that, or
nick it, or it's not gonna. They're not going to leave it behind, or
they're gonna. You're in their house effectively.
Yeah.
Where are they going to take it? I mean, you don't know that. You had limited interaction the night before, which was still fairly formal.
Yeah.
You don't. I mean, roll me an insight.
He said we were trespassing, though, right?
Yeah, but then he was fairly sound. I got a flat 19.
Flat 19. I mean, as far as you can tell, nothing on the interaction that you had last night, or even the minimal that Krill had this morning. Nothing. If they'd wanted to destroy the ship, they would have done it with you in there. You also know enough about cloud giants that they're, it's generally speaking level-headed. They're not necessarily rash. So, I think you probably get a sense that you can trust it as much as you think you could, given that it's hundreds of feet in the air on a side of a cloud.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll. It won't be long before we test the patience with a bit of high grade chuckle fuckery. But we'll see how they are in 5 minutes.
The Circus's unique brand of diplomacy.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, how big is this castle in comparison to the Furos? What was his name?
The Furos? Did you say the Furos?
The Furos. Yeah. The Furos.
The Furos. Significantly bigger.
Okay.
All right, it's not a fucking.
His castle was probably 200-300 feet across. This is 5, 6, 7 times that size. Both in floor space and in terms of height. This is a much more significantly larger castle than what you dealt with the Führer.
Mm.
This is going to go well because these have all got Germanic accents as well. So I can only imagine this is going to be Nazi-filled. Right. Doing anything before you get off the boat, or are you stepping out onto the cloud?
I'd like to step onto the cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's go.
You all climb down from the ship, and you're greeted by Crosaro. As a reminder, he's a relatively, by Cloud Giant's status, he's quite young, certainly a lot younger than Zephyros appeared to be. You would think, comparative to a human, probably 20s, maybe 30, something like that. And he's still formally dressed. He has in his hand, he has on him his mace, which is a weapon that you saw the night before that he had drawn. This time he doesn't have it drawn; he has it to his side. But near his hand, it could go at a moment's. Sorry, Stu, you can say something.
Is he dressed as he appears in his token, Nathan, or can you describe his? You say he's quite formally dressed. I would say the token anything other than formal. But...
ignore the token. He's dressed formally, like in a military sense.
Right.
Being the Castellane, he's very much all about security. He's ready for battle at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
He's got armor on, but he doesn't look, certainly from a personality and behavioural perspective, he doesn't look aggressive by any means. But he looks, your visitors to the castle. Now, whether or not he's dressed formally for this, or whether this is his regular attire, you wouldn't know. But yeah, he's. Let me see if we've got any more descriptions about the fella. But yeah, he's. I mean, what he's wearing is quite ornate. Not the most fanciest of things you've ever seen, but it looks. The little you know about Cloud Giants. They love treasure. They love the finer things in life, and this his armor and his clothing is in keeping with that. Anything else you want to know?
No. I just wanted to know whether it was appropriate, because for the listeners' benefit, the token of Cesaro he's wearing like a sleeveless waistcoat, which I felt might have been a good opportunity to poke fun at him, but obviously Nathan's ruined that by suggesting he's not dressed like that.
Can I ask a question? Is there such a thing as a non-sleeveless waistcoat? Is that not a jacket?
Wow.
Yep.
It's not often Stuart's caught off guard, really. I guess it's well done, Sam. Inspiration.
It's a good point, not Sam.
Okay, you step onto the cloud, and he stood there, and he looks you all up and down, and he says, "Is this just you in the ship? It is quite a large ship for just the five of you. Is there anybody else aboard?"
Just the five of us, Cesaro. We came upon this airship recently. It was not bespoke, tailored to our needs. It is something we've recently taken ownership of. So yes, it is large, but whilst we may not fill it in the physical sense, we fill it with love and mirth in a metaphorical sense.
Have you got live, laugh, live, laugh, laugh on the side of it?
Oh, we have now, yeah.
Okay, so he sort of looks at you, he sort of nods, he looks back at the ship. You see him sort of walk along the ship, and he just sort of he just sort of looks around just to sort of see if he can see any signs, even from his relative perspective of. He even sort of listens to the side of it just to see if there's anyone inside, and he sort of seems to believe you. He then starts striding, without saying anything, starts striding towards the stairs. We're now in the daytime. Obviously, when you first arrived here, it was midnight. It was quite dark out. You couldn't really see much of the castle. You could see the rough outline, but there was a lot of detail that you couldn't see. It's a lot more now that you can see everything. This is an impressive spectacle. You obviously, like you say, you were on Zephyros's castle some time ago. And at that time, that would have been impressive. And this is just, infinitely more impressive. It's scenic. It's just a huge structure across these two clouds. There appears to be lots of ivy and things climbing up the side of it. It just seems a very scenic and beautiful castle, like a very idyllic castle that you would see on the side of the cliff ordinarily, but somehow it exists in the sky. He strides over towards the stairs, and when he gets there, he stops and sort of waits for you to sort of catch up, and he says, I am assuming that you are okay with climbing the stairs. You were at the top of them yesterday evening. These are possibly a bit too big for you, but you are okay to climb them.
What's the height of these stairs?
They're 4 foot by 4 foot.
Oh, yeah, piece of piss, mate.
Okay. Does Dweezil say that?
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, Crisaro decides to climb the stairs without looking back. Give me an athletics DC 10, please.
You ready, Krill?
No,
Quintrell-
we're not.
Quintrell-
We're not doing it this time. Like I've learned. Crew by this point has figured out that this whole running upstairs joke. Like you don't even race. You just tell him Krill to run, and then he runs, and you don't even compete.
Dweezil, you get advantage on your athletics roll.
Awesome.
Quinch will fly up them if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, Greg will also fly up.
Okay, so the two of you fly up to the top, and in fact, Greg, with the speed of your broom, you're actually outpacing the giant, and he sort of looks to the side of him and sees you, somewhat perturbed, but sort of like you can see there's a bit of caution in his eye, I guess, that doesn't want you to go too far and fly into the castle or anything like that.
Yeah, that's unlikely to happen.
It's usually Quinch that goes into the side of a castle. The rest of you take your time. It does, 4 foot. It's easily climbable, even for Dabblev, I guess.
Got my slippers.
Yeah.
Indeed.
just going like walking and then upwards.
Yeah.
And then it's really hard to
Like the
demonstrate
MC in
on a
the Labyrinth,
podcast.
Like the wrong trousers.
You eventually get to the top. Crisaro outpacing you three, and he's sort of again waiting for you to catch up. You get to the top, and he leads you through the first door, which you went through the evening before. Obviously, there needed to be some shenanigans when you guys were opening it yourself, but he quite easily opens the door and just holds it for you to walk into it. You find yourselves in this courtyard on top of this first sort of building, and just a reminder: the the castle is essentially 2 buildings separated by this long bridge. The one you're on at the moment is just a small, almost courtyard, sort of carriage house-esque sort of entrance, I guess. But the main body of the castle is on this other cloud. Apologies, a good couple of 100 feet away, and you have to cross this bridge to get to it. When you were here, this was pretty much as far as you got last time. There's 2 buildings either side of you. You didn't manage to get into either of those, but there's a couple of stairways leading up into them. They're about 50 by 50 foot. Now there's 2 creatures. We didn't really get into this. There's 2 creatures on this side of the bridge that you can see. Both of them are essentially just big whirling skirmishes of air. They just stand, aside from the internal turmoil of their being, they are stood pretty still. They're not moving around. They're not sort of approaching you. They're not sort of doing anything other than sort of standing guard, if you will.
Would I know
Anything
what
you
these are, like from an arcane kind of view?
You can roll me an Arcana or history if that's any good for you.
Phew, I rolled you an Arcana and I have got a 9.
A 9. You don't know what these are.
Okay.
Not with the 9, unfortunately. You think you've probably seen or heard of similar, but you can't place exactly what they are. Because Crisaro carries on unless you're saying or doing anything. Crisaro sort of leads on.
Can I ask him what they are? Excuse me, old chap. What are those big old bag of winds?
They are part of the defense of the castle. They are air elementals.
Extraordinary. How do they work?
They are beings of pure will and magic. They are devastating, and I do not know how they work. This is not something that Crosaro is informed in, but they are formidable, and they ensure that anyone trying to cross this bridge would have a nasty time of doing so.
Do they have names and personalities, or are they just...
No, whilst they are sentient enough to attack those who wish this castle harms, they are not people, they are not personalities or anything of that ilk.
Well, I shall call him Windy and Willows.
Yeah, people give pets names, don't they? So, maybe you should think about. I think I like Greg's names. They're good. You should take that on board, Cesaro.
It is Crosaro, as this is a name.
Yeah.
I will mention this to the Countess. It is possibly not something she is wanting to do, but I will endeavour to ensure that your information is passed on to her.
Jolly good chap. Thank you.
And he carries on walking, leads you across the bridge. I will, for the purposes, for the time being, unless there's anything you specifically want to do, I will take control of your creatures, your characters, and move you. But obviously, do tell me if there's anything you wish to do at any given time.
Okay.
So he leads you on across the bridge. You're about halfway. And the closer you get to the castle, the more the size of it starts to sort of stagger you. It's given the size of your characters being, from a mechanical point of view, medium. This thing is built for things that are 4-5 times your height.
Probably giants.
Yeah, probably giants. Cloud giants. Yeah, things like that. And as you're getting closer to it, you see these three towers that you saw the night before. There's essentially it's round. They're 3 round towers. There's 2 sort of shorter ones to the left and right as you're looking, and then there's this main one that leads up in the middle, almost like
cock and balls arrangement.
Almost like a cock and balls arrangement. That's correct. Yeah. You think you can see up on the top of the main tower, there might be some more structures at the top.
3 little structures popping out the end of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you see that, Quinch? What do you think of that?
Not the first time I've been staring up at the shaft and feeling nervous.
I had thought that I was appropriately dressed. I do apologise if I have let the breeze loose. But as you get closer to the door, this double doors leading you into the castle itself. You see that there's two Aarakocras. Now you saw these the night before. They also watched your ship overnight to make sure, as Crosaro put it, there was no funny business. And just a reminder, these are Aarakocras, but they don't seem normal. That's all you can put your finger on at the moment. They're not quite. They look normal. They look like any other Aarakocras you've seen. Not any others. They don't look all the same. What I'm saying.
Wow.
But they look like typical Aarakocras. But there's just something you can't quite place about them that seems a little off.
Bit uncanny valley.
Possibly, who knows? He carries on leading you into the castle. He opens up these large doors. Okay, so he leads you in. Now, as these doors open, you feel a sense of warmth wash over you. Obviously, you've fairly recently been walking and travelling around incredibly cold atmosphere to the north. And it's fair to say that obviously being this high up on top of the castle, being at this altitude, obviously it's going to be quite chilly. It's nowhere near as bad as it was for you before. But this door opening, you do feel that warmth drawing you in, and you're quite, it's quite enticing. You get to the other side of the door. You're greeted with a hallway, which is grand in size, but it's simple and effective in decor. There's not much going on here. It's just stone walls, very clean, very well kept, but there's nothing particularly fancy or ornate. There's very little in the way of paintings or statues or anything like that. Can you give me a perception roll, all of you, please?
Yes. In fact, I just insist upon doing so. 18.
23.
22, natural 20, if you want to be exact.
A natty 1 for a 4 overall.
And Dabov?
10.
10, okay. Dabov and Krill, you don't see this, but the other three of you, as you walk through the doors, you notice something above you. You're sort of taking in the surroundings, and obviously, even though this place, the hallway is a good sort of 40 foot up, you're just looking around and taking in everything, and you notice pretty much above you, and about 10, 20 feet across, there appears to be some large holes in the ceiling above you. And that's all I'll say about that.
Are they... I know you said that's all you'll say about it, but I am going to press you for further
Yeah,
information.
that's fine.
Are they... do they appear to be there by accident, or do they appear to be there by design? So I'm looking at the edges of the holes, Nathan.
They appear to be... what did you get? You got a 23, right?
Yeah, I did.
They appear to be a bit of both. You get the sense the way that they're designed, the way that the holes are layered, that they appear to be, they don't seem to be higgledy-piggledy. They don't seem to be the wrong size or anything like that. They all appear to be in some sort of order. But you can see around the outside of the holes, even from this height. You can see around the edge of the holes themselves. They don't appear to be perfectly flush. There appears to be some erosion or something like that.
So the supposition would be that these are some kind of defensive trap of some sort, and that whatever comes out of them has perhaps caused damage to the hole itself.
Yeah, you think that's a fairly good. Yeah, a fairly a decent observation.
Any signs of, for example, scorching or acid damage, or things that would suggest a...
Roll me an investigation at advantage, Tweezle.
Oh, God, that's all my good rolls gone for the day. That's a 10.
Okay. That's enough to see in the... You can see that the ground beneath you is not perfect. You can see that there are a few little scorch marks here and there. Yeah. You can't see much beyond that, but it doesn't seem perfectly smooth like the rest of the flooring.
Yeah.
But whether or not that, whether that's from whether or not that's from acid or anything like that, or whether that's from, this is the entrance and it's just wear and tear, you don't know. But this looks a little bit more uneven and rough compared to the flooring up ahead.
I might suggest to Cesaro that as the castellan of the tower, it might be prudent to have like a mat on the inside of these doors for people to wipe the shoes on, so that they don't make such a mess of the floor as they're walking in.
Perhaps with some sort of niche little saying or something.
It could say, I don't know, something pithy. He can imagine what that'd be himself. I wouldn't,
If you think of anything in the next year, if you could just send a voice note to Luke and maybe he can edit it in for you.
Yeah.
I
You got a
won't.
year. It's fine.
A year? I think we're more than a year away from this, aren't we?
No, probably less,
Probably.
realistically. Anyway, aside from that, the other things you see up above, sorry, not above, up ahead, you see a couple of doors to your left and right, not far up ahead, and then you can just see off to the distance, about 100 foot or so, you can see another set of doors to the left and to the right. So there's 4 sets of doors altogether, and then the corridor it's almost completely flat and straight corridor, and Crisaro just continues to lead you on. Anything you want to do at this point? Anything? Otherwise I'll keep moving you on.
Yeah, happy to press forward.
Yeah, happy to press forward.
Okey-dokey. You get up towards the second set of doors.
The sky's the limit. That's what it says on the front. Something like that. Yeah.
Lovely, thank you very much. Well worth waiting for. Those of you... Actually, no, I'm going to just say Greg. Greg, with your natural 20 that you rolled earlier, as you get about 2/3 of the way down the corridor, you all of a sudden hear a noise. You can hear the noise of essentially someone like moaning or groaning. No, not like that. Not like that. You can hear the sound of something moaning in pain.
I'm gonna whisper this then to the people who are next to me. So it's going to be Krill and Quinch and Dweezil, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
everyone but
they're
me.
just generically placed. They're just generically placed. They don't have to be in that order. That's
that's who it
they're
is.
Darren's like, what?
I'm just going to whisper and I'm going to go, does anyone else hear that moaning? Like a creature in pain.
And do we not hear it?
No one else can really hear it except for Dweezil, and it's just because he got the over 20 perception. He didn't hear it until Greg mentioned it, but with that 23 earlier, it's...
Given that we've been prompted, can we try and listen a bit harder?
Well,
No, we could just believe them.
Yeah, but if someone goes, "Did you hear that?" you wouldn't go, "No, but I'll just take your word for it." Like you'd try and hear it, right? Nobody would just, yeah, no, maybe.
I'm going to say no for the purposes of the fact that otherwise it invalidates the fact that the other two guys were. But
I tell what it is. Like, does it sound like a human or an elf or an orc
or a dragon called Felgalos?
Could you imagine? Sorry, can I just go back a bit? Could you imagine being like, "Oh my god, look at that over there," and then going, "I'm not going to look, but I will take your word. But I will take your word."
I'm not going to look now because I didn't look earlier. So I think that would just be unfair if I look now.
Not being able to see it. You could be looking.
Exactly. I'm not saying you shut your ears off and went la 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 la. What I'm saying is those two rolled sufficiently
Well done
high
to
enough
them.
earlier that they can hear it and you can't. Get over it.
So
It's just
this is Dungeons and Dragons. So this dragons, sorry, this game has got a set of mechanics. So we're kind of operating within those mechanics.
But you have to. Anyway,
Sam, you hear the fucking dragon.
yeah.
Right.
That's what's happening. Sorry, you said that wasn't what was happening. So. Who's the liar?
No one's told Dab of anything yet, so he's just walking around, looking at the walls, looking at the back of his hands.
Well,
Noticing
Skrill's
new
got his
freckle,
ear
might
up
get that
against the
checked.
wall with a glass.
Vin can hear it.
It doesn't tell you though.
Actually, he does get advantage on hearing, I think.
I forget what is Vin at the moment? Is he an owl? Is he a tortoise still? Is he like what?
Oh,
I
he
don't even
He
know.
goes back to an owl straight away. That was over a year ago. Do you think he's just been a
Yeah, but I
tortoise
don't-
this whole
I don't
time?
know.
Greg looks at Vin and goes, "Shh, shut the fuck up, shh."
Right. So anyway, some of you hear that, and Crisaro, you have that little moment whispering. Give me a performance roll, Greg. No, give me a stealth roll, Greg.
Oh, I get disadvantage on stealth.
Why?
Because I'm
Got
wearing
armor.
half plate.
But surely, but you don't whisper like you've not got half plate on your lips. What?
Oh, I'm just
Like
jingle.
jingly jangly, like chain armor as he lifts his feet.
All right, fine.
Lifts his hand.
15.
Okay, you manage. You think that you managed to have that conversation without. Crisaro certainly doesn't react to you. Okay, you get to the end of the corridor and you see this set of stairs in front of you, which leads downwards. I am now going to take you to another map.
Wow.
Okay. Right, you find yourself out on another. You head down these stairs again. These are 4x4, and so they're not easy to go down apart from Davos with his weird labyrinth walking shoes. But you eventually come out onto another courtyard. This one's semicircular, and there appears to be there's a semicircular wall that faces you. There are 3 giant-sized ballistae sitting, looking out upon the world as a line of defence. You're right, Stuart?
Yep.
Yeah. There is atop the wall. There is a semicircular rampart with 2 giants stood on guard.
Which part of the ram? Is it the horns? Is it?
It's the cock, and it's a really bendy cock, which is why it's semicircular. It starts all the way down here, and it just curves round all the way, and almost going back on itself. As they see Crisaro, that you can see them both stand to attention and throw a salute his way, which he in turn. Well,
Just
You can't.
everything's
You can't
penis
talk
in
about
this castle,
bending
innit?
cocks and fucking standing to attention.
standing to attention. Okay.
Based on all
well,
the all the puddles everywhere, it looks like there's been some standing to attention going on before we got here.
They throw a salute his way before returning to their guard duty. The courtyard is covered in large puddles of water.
Oh,
It's not jizz. It's blue. It's blue.
I don't know what Cloud Giant Con looks like.
Indeed.
Honestly, officer.
You notice in the floor of the courtyard there are 2 large grates in the floor, both about 10 foot across, 10 by 10 foot across. Even from here, you can see you don't feel like you would fall through the gaps in the grate, but at the same time, it would still need a bit of caution traversing it. Behind you, you look around and you can see what appears to be 2 other staircases either side of the one you've just come down. And then to the north of you, you see what appears to be a door leading back into the castle. Also behind you, the castle itself, this is where the main body of the castle just goes straight up into the sky, a good sort of 120 feet or something like 80 feet, sorry. And there appears to be another tower on top of that. Anything you wish to do whilst you're here?
Another delicious episode in the can. Thanks for listening. You can find us on social media. Maybe you could share your favourite moments with us. If you have any friends or family that you think would enjoy the antics of the circus, we'd appreciate it if you told them about our podcast. What is this voice? I don't know, but isn't it just so?
If you have any spare change, you can support us financially on Ko-fi. It is of paramount importance that you do so.
Open square bracket. Hi lads, here's the script for the outro I'm planning to record. I don't know how to end it, so let me know if you can think of anything witty to finish it at. Oh.